In this video, we will demonstrate the installation of a Windows Server 2008 R2 domain controller, and then we'll migrate it to a second new domain controller, Server 2019, and finally decommission the original 2008 R2 domain controller. Here we have a fresh 2008 R2 server, and we'll select the server manager, add roles, Active Directory domain services, and we'll simply install. Okay, it looks like it is successful, and now we will attempt. This will actually take our Active Directory that was installed and create a new domain in a new forest. And we'll call this monster.int for internal. Functional level 2008 R2. And we'll take all the defaults, just creating a DNS server. Now this was a fresh installation of Server 2008 R2 with a DHCP address. Create the directories, password, and review and begin the installation. The installation here is now complete, and we'll finish and restart this server. Okay, the 2008 server is back up, and we're going to check the Active Directory. And there it is, our new Active Directory. I'm going to just add some items here so that after it's migrated, we'll know that it was done correctly. So I have an Office OU, and I'm going to add a user. Joe Smith, J. Smith. Diana. All right, so we have a user there. We have a new OU. And we know that our Active Directory is here and working on this 2008 server. We will also look at DNS, and we do have a DNS zone, and we have a server in there, and there's the name of our server. It does have a static IP address, which we'll look at right now. Right click, this is how I get to things. It's a lot quicker. And there we have it. So That's my default gateway, happens to be the router, internet router. This is 2.16, and it's looking to itself for DNS, which is perfectly fine for what we're doing here. So let's close this up. Now, this is our new server 2019, and we're going to now upgrade through migration the 2008 domain. As you can see what we have here, we're going to basically do the same steps here. Add a role. We're going to add Active Directory. Looks like it's installed already, which is fine there. Now that the Active Directory service has been installed on this Windows Server 2019, first thing you'll want to do is we're going to check the networking here and make sure that it's pointing to the correct domain controller for DNS. So let's look at this. Properties and click. Okay, so we know the 2008 domain controller is 2.16. This machine we're working on is 2.15. Our default gateway is the internet router, so we're good to go. When we go to join this to the domain and or create a domain controller out of it, it's going to want to know and have good access to the original domain controller we're trying to migrate into. So DNS, very important. Very important. So here we go. This is the easiest way to get to this. Once you're in, promote server to a domain controller. One quick note about file replication services versus distributed file system replication. The newer server 2019 is going to require the DFS, and you will get an error during the promotion of that server. As a note, I'm including this information. Very simple. In order to remove the file services replication and replace it with the DFS. No domain controller or servers need to be rebooted. You'll run this on your FSMO role holder server, your #1 DC. Right now I'm on the 2008 R2. It is the #1 and only DC. We'll run these one at a time, take about 15 seconds between each one, and finally you can do this last step to look at the global state, and you'll see my answer here telling me that the current is DFSR and the state is eliminated, meaning FRS has been eliminated. I'm assuming that's what it means. So that's all there is to that. Just a quick note. Do it now, or you might be asked to do it later. And you can refer back to this clip. Now we're ready to join this to the 2008 domain. First thing you'll want to do is supply the credentials. This has already been done here. You can do the change. This is the domain of the 2008 you're going to join and the administrator password. Yes, you could type in the domain name. We know it's Monster, but I like to just hit the select button. This verifies our DNS and our credentials. So the system did find it. We'll say OK and add a domain controller to an existing domain. We're going to join this controller to the 2008 domain. We do want the domain DNS service and the global catalog service. We're not using a read-only right now. Default site is the only site I have right now, and we'll just put in a password for restore purposes. In the event you need to do a disaster recovery restore. There's a password there. Make a note of that somewhere. And this is a normal message. Can be ignored. I leave the defaults right here. And if you have a particular domain controller, you can certainly do this. If you have multiple domain controllers and you want to point to the FSMO role holder, that would be good. Otherwise, any domain controller would be fine. Either one will work. And these are the services directories it's going to create on this server. And these are the steps that are going to be taken. There is going to be a schema and forest preparation and then the domain preparation. If you remember the old ad prep and domain prep, it's going to attempt this now as part of its installation. Here we'll see some normal information about the prerequisites test. And bottom line is, you could read these, but the bottom line is the checks are successful and the installation can begin. So we will go ahead and do the installation. If any of those prerequisites were failing, you could certainly click on the information and look to see how to correct those. However, good DNS name resolution and the domain prep and the FSR to the DFS, once those are converted, that's really all we have there. So we'll stop back here and take a look after this is completed. Okay, after the reboot, here's our 2019 server. We're going to check Active Directory. Looks like we have it. Sites and services. And I'll go for users and computers as well. So here we have sites and services, and both servers are visible with replication connections to one another. I like to just grab that and replicate now. Make sure we have a good connection. That's one way to check a connection, but that's usually not a terrible way. That looks good to me. Active Directory. Is this their Active Directory we created? Sure it is. There's Joe Smith. So we're good now. Our next steps are going to be the FSMO role holders. We're going to have to move these now because the 2008 server is going to go away. So we're going to migrate 5 services, 5 FSMO roles over to this server. The discussion of which FSMO roles go on which server is another discussion. For a single server, they can only exist in one place. So we're going to move this grid master from this server to that. And I am logged in as the administrator for this domain. So I have permissions. PDC. Yep, going to grab that one too. Let's see. Infrastructure. Yep, going to grab that one. And let's see. Domains and trusts. Operations master. Change that. And finally, there's the schema admin. For the schema admin, we'll have to register the tool first. Command prompt as an administrator. And this is the command here. We're going to register this DLL, and that makes it available at the MMC. Without that command, it wouldn't be available right here. Schema, add, and depending on operations master, you can see they're both the same. So obviously I can't change it. The key here is to change domain controllers. And we're going to go to the change it to the one that I'm on, the new domain controller, operations master. Now you can see I have the choice to move it, change. Now all 5, no need to save that. All 5 FSMO roles are now on this new 2015 server. Now we'll check a few other things. That was dumb. This rep admin command will show the replication status. And the FSMO role holder shows for the whole domain. Kind of confirms the FSMO roles are all on the 2019. So there you have it. This server is all good. And now we're ready to demote and remove the 2008 server. Now we're at the point where we're going to demote the 2008 R2 server. We'll get rid of it for good. One thing I like to do is, I know it's going to bark at it once I do a DC promo. So I'm going to go to this server here, the one we're going to get rid of, and turn the global catalog off. That's really no big deal there. But so we're going to get back to DC promo. That's how we started this whole animal. Next, when this is not the last domain controller, so we will not check that box. Otherwise, we'll really have some headaches. Delete the DNS delegations. Sure, we take all the defaults here. And this is going to be the monster. I'm sorry. Monster administrator. Permissions to do such. And password. After the machine is rebooted, we're going to need to make sure that the local administrator can still get into this server. So this is important. We'll let this run, and we'll come back to it. Now we're back into the 2008 R2 server, and it is now only a member server. It's no longer a domain controller, as you could see here, and the tools would still be uninstalled here, but we'll check domain controllers, only one, 2019. So we're good to go. Thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe and stop back again soon. I'll be posting new videos on all kinds of Microsoft computer technologies. Thank you.